Hello and welcome to NDTV Profit. You're joining us as State Bank of India has just come out with its Q4 numbers and, of course, FY25 numbers. And I have with me the chairman of the bank, Mr. CS Setty. Mr. Setty, thank you so much for joining us on this conversation. I just want to start with the overall profit number, about 18,600 odd crore worth of a profit. Slightly down, of course. You explained earlier that this was a one-off related provision that happened. I just want to get a sense, you earlier spoken about a 1 lakh crore profit target for the whole year at some point in time. You're getting closer to that. When do we see that number coming now?
Thanks for having me with you today. We have crossed one milestone of operating profit of 1 lakh crores. We posted about 1,10,000 crores.
Yeah.
Our conversion rate from operating profit to net profit is about 64%. So if that rate continues, assuming that there are no great provision requirements going forward, so we need to reach around 1,60,000 crores operating profit to have this 1 lakh net profit.
Sure.
So maybe 2 to 3 years is something what we believe that if our growth rate of 10 to 12% continues on the loan side and the overall balance sheet side, it's quite possible to reach in the next 2 to 3 years. But more than anything, I think we never pursue this bottom line number.
Sure.
Our effort has always been that, how do we strengthen our balance sheet?
Yeah.
How do we ensure that the quality book is maintained? I think that focus will continue.
Okay. Coming to the core business now, loan growth of about 12% overall. Domestic close to 11, and we're talking about a deposit growth which is also looking reasonably strong. I mean, at your base, it's very good.
Yes.
I just wanted to get a sense what FY26 is going to look like. We're already about a month in. This is the second month of the fiscal. What are you seeing FY26 looking like?
It's too early to say anything because April generally, most of the times audits go on, and people also. Exams and many things impact the economic activity overall. But what we still believe that the growth rate what we have seen in the last quarter, around 12% on the loan side and around 10% in the deposit side is quite achievable in the current financial year also.
Okay.
And we also believe that it's loan growth is a function of macros. The nominal GDP, as expected, reaches 10%.
Yeah.
I think the growth rate will be around 12 to 13% for SBI and 11 to 12% generally for the industry.
Okay. I've got 3 more questions. The first one is on asset quality. At 1.82% gross NPA, at your size, incredible on the asset quality front. I wanted to get your outlook, considering that generally the expectation is that asset quality is going to be benign for the broader banking system. How are you seeing the asset quality for this year for a bank like State Bank?
No, you are right. I think the benign asset quality is likely to continue for some more time. We haven't seen any major headwinds.
Yeah.
From time to time, we keep talking about, unsecured personal loans, microfinance loans. But in the overall scheme of things, they do not constitute a fair large segment. It may impact the 1 or 2 lending institutions who are actively having that kind of book. But as you mentioned, the broader banking sector is witnessing one of the best asset quality cycles currently. And despite the challenges on the global scenario, I think India's story continues to be there. Even at the growth rate of 6.3%, I think we are well positioned. Number 2 is that we are also confident on maintaining the asset quality, both at the industry level as well as on the bank level, because today the underwriting is much more robust in terms of data-based underwriting. We know fairly well the customer profile, both on the business side as well as individual side. So these enablers will help us to ensure that the asset quality is maintained. Okay. And most of us also have strengthened our collection mechanisms, which were not there earlier in a big way.
Of course.
So the collection efficiencies also have gone up. So the mainstream banks are much better positioned to maintain the asset quality now.
Okay. You highlighted a 3.4 lakh crore pipeline for corporate loans on your book at this point in time. Just a couple of days ago, the Reserve Bank of India put out a survey of companies, of private sector companies, which talked about a decline in the confidence on capex by these companies. I wanted to get your view. I mean, 3.4 lakh crore is a very good number, but in terms of overall outlook, are you seeing that maybe companies are still a little hesitant, or are they a little scared after the recent global turmoil that you talked about, the tariff uncertainties? Do you see any of that?
So much of the pipeline, what we have been seeing for the last 2 years, has been coming mainly from the renewables, a bit of power, thermal power, data centers, roads. What we have not seen is major investments coming from the private core sector.
Okay.
In the core, if you really talk about steel, cement, we haven't seen any major announcements. Steel particularly, I think people believe that the global uncertainties, the fear of dumping by China, all these things are weighing. That probably one of the reasons why the RBI survey indicates the lower confidence level. But certain segments continue to attract the investments, and that is where the pipeline for us is emerging. It is a fact that the core sector is yet to take the plunge in terms of capital expansion and capital expansion programs.
Okay.
So I think the tariff confusion also is probably adding to, though it is not going to really majorly impact India, but the investment decisions, particularly in the core sector, are getting delayed.
One last question, sir. We've seen this Supreme Court judgment come in this Bhushan Power and Steel case. There is a broader view in the market that this may have a chilling effect on, say, distressed asset sales, the ability of foreign investors to come in and invest in these large-scale physical assets. I wanted to get your, obviously for this case specific, I know you can't respond much at this point in time, considering the judgment was just yesterday. But overall, do you feel that there is going to be some amount of hesitancy to say that we don't know what is going to happen tomorrow, so let's freeze on these kind of investments?
But I believe, I think it's too early to take that kind of positioning. We need to see how it unfolds, what are the legal options available to the lenders and the company, and how we successfully navigate this situation. My suggestion would be to wait and watch instead of jumping the gun and say that the whole stress dusted scenario will change. I think let's just wait and watch.
All right, Mr. Setty, thank you so much for joining us on this conversation. Pleasure to talk to you.